Hello everybody, Kenny from Delmarva Deals. I don't know about anybody else. My eBay was a little slow, but then it kind of picked up in the last couple days. And I also want to talk about the option when eBay slows down, or any other platform digitally, which I've only been selling for a few years, but I've been in real life flea market seller like 30 years. So the do's and don'ts, comings and goings of in real life flea market yard sale type of selling. Maybe you felt overwhelmed and you wanted to do it and you only do online. Maybe we should have a conversation about. So I've only been selling online for about 3 years. It started during the pandemic. Actually, my own brother turned me on to online selling. Now it slows down, it speeds up. Again, there's do's and don'ts of every platform. But one of the things that most people ever ask me about, because I sell at the flea market, is, what's the do's and don'ts? Because I have been fairly successful over the years selling in real life, selling face to face. My first thing to anybody that wants to sell at the flea market or in a yard sale is that you got to know your customer. And I'm not talking about demographics. I'm just talking generally. There's 3 types of people. First type of person is the person that comes there every week. They're sociable. Everybody knows them. They walk around. They're feelers and touchers, and they don't really buy anything, and they won't buy anything unless it's very, very specific. The second person is the person that shows up there every week as like it's an addiction, and they're a feeler and toucher, but they're an NPC. They're basically a drone. Third person that shows up is that person that shows up once a month, once every 3 months, as an event. The first person is going to be hard to sell unless you have a specific item that they want. The second and third person, they're a little different. Just like online, you have to be the loudest, and you have to be the brightest, and you have to have a certain level of customer service and things of that nature. Always realize that the second and third person, they're like NPCs. You have to be sociable. You have to know that they are not going to come to your table automatically. They're not going to come over to your booth. They're not going to see what you have unless you let them know. You have to be verbal. You have to be out there. You have to show yourself and say, hey, come on over. Let me show you what I got. I got this. I got that. This is the prices. These are the things that I'm selling. These are the types of things that we need to tell each other. Because I see all the time sellers show up and they think they're going to sell their whole entire table, and they leave with everything because they don't do certain things. Now, the second thing about selling in real life at a flea market, it kind of leads in from the first thing. Don't be afraid to be social. These people are going there to either buy something, or you're trying to get them to buy something. So I know that self-consciously you don't want to, be loud. I'm not saying pull out a megaphone, scream out loud at the top of your lungs. But at least as people are walking by, which most of the time at the flea market, depending on the season, you will have opportunities to tell people, hey, come check out my goods. Come check out my products. Another thing people don't think of when they're about to set up at the flea market is inclement weather. I know where I'm at, it could just change all the time. It could be 85 and sunny one day, and the next 12 hours later it could be 60 and pouring down rain. That's just the way it is. You have to know your own temperament and your own climate and your own area, but I would say just know it. Be knowledgeable on whether you're going to be able to do it or not. If you pay up front, they might not have rain checks, so you might lose that money. So just be aware of that issue that might arise. Another thing that people don't think about, this is the flea market. It is a yard sale. It is not eBay. It is not somewhere where you can do retail. I mean, if you could sell an item for retail, great, get the money. But you're probably going to leave with exactly what you brought. They are not going to pay retail, especially resellers. They're going to look it up and they're going to find out they can get it half price on eBay. They're not going to pay retail. So always remember that. Because you think about it, if you sell on eBay, you sell on Amazon, you sell on any of these platforms, you're going to pay taxes. You're going to get a W-2, and you're going to get a 1099, and you're going to have to pay taxes on every single penny that you made. At the flea market, you technically are supposed to pay taxes. That you are not an avid reseller. You're just trying to clear out some of your old goods, your own personal items. Always remember that the things that you sell at the flea market, you do not have to pay taxes on if they are personal items. They are personal items that you are just selling very once in a while type of deal. It is not considered a business. It is just you selling your old items. You do not have to pay taxes on it. And I just want to put it out there. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Don't do tax fraud. Another thing people don't realize about setting up at the flea market is it's a war of attrition. Sometimes you have to get there 4:30 in the morning. Depending on your flea market, you may have to get over 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, start setting up, sit there in the hot sun, wind, cold, whatever the case may be. You're sitting there all day, maybe not making that many sales. It's demoralizing. All I'm going to say is be mentally prepared to sit there and sell nothing, because there is a chance. Unless you do some of the things I've already talked about, do not have any self-shame about trying to sell your item, because everybody there is trying to sell their items, or they're trying to buy items, or they're just shopping around. Either way, it is the location that you do these things. Just be aware that you may sit there and not sell anything if you don't attempt to actually sell something. 2 more things I will tell you that you should do. Make sure you bring change in bags, because somebody will hit you with a $50 bill. You will not have change. The other people around you might not have change, or might not want to give you the change. You want to make the sale. Go to the bank the day before your flea market. Always make sure you have change, and make sure you have bags. We all collect bags, whether it's paper, plastic, whatever you're going to use. Especially if you're selling like smaller household items. Somebody might be afraid to buy 8 pieces of glassware from you because you don't have a bag. They might not want to buy it. So just stop at a store, acquire their bags. Whatever you need to do. Wink, wink. And the final thing I'll tell you to do is have fun. Or at least have the view of having fun. If a shopper comes by and they see you angry, upset, and wore out, and sad, you have to hide your anger or upset, or you may only have a few sales, and you feel demoralized. Just put on that smile. Make it a little game, especially if you go with somebody else. If somebody else goes with you, then it's easier. Then it spreads the workload. It gives them an extra eyeballs on the table. Again, have fun. Make it a game. Sell as many things as you possibly can, because that's what you're there for. Try to go home empty-handed and pockets full of cash. And if anything that I said was helpful and you find yourself coming back, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, notification bell. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt